What I'd like to do is start off, number one, and I want to, just like I said, thank PSU 305. As I look at all these different families sitting up here, I often think of sacrifice, because the families are sacrificing here too. And so that's why it's so important right now to just recognize what these sacrifices are all about, because it goes all the way through. And I pretty much think that everybody sitting out here would probably say, you know, a lot of the reasons I do what I do, patriotic part of things that I do, but my family's a lot of reasons I do the things I do too, and vice versa. So what I'd like to bring up is, I wanted to thank you for that. And one of the things that Master Chief Allen and I really got an opportunity to see is the capability that the reserve forces bring to us, regardless of what DSF force we're in, whether it's a PSU, an MSST, but Deepwater Horizon, anybody ever hear of that? Haiti, anybody hear of that? What a capability the Coast Guard Reserve brings. The capability, when we went down there, Master Chief and I, we talked to, probably well over 100 chiefs that were down there. And I wasn't just talking to somebody who went to, maybe worked at McDonald's, went to recruit training, and all they really knew was the Coast Guard. I was talking to doctors, professors, police officers, firefighters, a whole gamut of different things out there. We're all trying to take care of one of the biggest oil spills probably in the world's history. So that's capability you bring, and my hat's off to you. But the Coast Guard has a lot of unique capabilities in the overall scheme of things, and the Reserve Force brings a lot of those uniqueness and the capabilities to us. I also like to thank all the folks here in the Yellow Ribbon program, because to put on something like this takes a lot of logistic efforts. And so Admiral Welch and to your team out there, thank you so much for putting this on out here. I'm sure a lot of people got a lot of things out of this thing, so we can get a hand for them for doing this for everybody. Now I'm going to jump into a couple of things, and so if I skip around a little bit, you just got to forgive me, there's a bosun made in me. Last week, my wife and I had an opportunity to go to the Congressional Military Family Caucus. And in this family caucus, what it was is we had several representatives out there, and we had a couple of senators come in, and we had several breakout sessions. But this caucus really dealt with a lot of our folks that deploy for pre-deployment and post-deployment, and both sides are very, very important to this. And in this, there was a lot of stories that we heard, and they weren't good. As a matter of fact, some of them were just nightmares, particularly for our family members who were stuck back there trying to hold the load, so to speak, while your loved ones are overseas doing the things they got to do. And what came to me was painfully obvious as I started listening to some of these stories was I documented one thing. It was a lack of information. A lack of information on our families' parts, a lack of information on our members' parts, a lack of information on knowing where to go to. The lack of partnering, of knowing who to call, family, friends, because last time I checked, we have a PSU 305 in here, correct? PSU 305, do you all know each other? Getting to know each other? It's outstanding. That's what it's all about. We need to know that. So after hearing these stories, I just hope that the common theme is not this, that we have a place to talk, somebody we can call, someone we can talk to if we run across these problems. Now I know that a lot of you, I've been around the Coast Guard a long time. Outer Banks, Senior Chief, it's good to see you again. Outer Banks, is that an isolated area? Medical can be very challenging in areas like that. But coming from remote communities like that, it can be very challenging, particularly for the medical issues and all the different things coming up. So we need to be aware of those types of things. And the one thing I want to bring up here as I go through this thing is our ombudsman. Ms. Priest, I just spoke with her outside, so I was just talking with her. And they said something about the hourglass. I also heard that they said that they talked about the ombudsman yesterday about 12 different times. So you have to hear it 13 times. The ombudsman, I consider being something more like the dispatch operator, one that works up and down the chain of command, one that takes and is that vital link. Thank you, Commander. Is that vital link to helping us take care of it. If you have issues out there on the front lines, if you have issues in the back line, so to speak, we have somebody we can talk to, somebody that we can relate to, somebody you can see at the same set of eyes. And so I want to bring that to you. I want to bring that to your attention and make sure you have her number, make sure you have your friend's number, because you're all going to share in the same type of sacrifices, whether it's schooling, whether it's daycare, whether it's medical, or your loved ones are coming back and forth for pre-deployment, post-deployment. Some of the issues we did have that were brought up was post-deployment, and some wounds you can't see. So I want to bring that up and just make sure you know that this thing continues on We got to monitor our folks out there. Success will hinge. Our success on this program is going to hinge on our ability to network. That's the bottom line. That's what makes the Coast Guard as strong as what we are. The one thing I want to end up with right here is the importance of this yellow ribbon program. Now, as we sit here, I've been sitting in quite a few meetings, and I'm not going to go into all the particulars because I'm not sure where things are going to go, but you know our country's in a budget crisis. You know the economic status is going on, and a lot of our programs are being looked at. And take a look at what's going on. And I think this is a great program for the Coast Guard, great program for our services. Get pre-deployment, post-deployment, opportunity to get together, because this is probably the most important part about doing this when we share in these types of challenges. So what I'd ask you to do is when you take a look at that survey, I'm sure we have a survey out there, that we put down some good bullets, what it looks like, things that we can do to improve the program, and that at the same time you go out and advertise the program to the folks around you, how it benefited you, because it's going to really matter in the long run when we're trying to focus on these types of programs, what's going to stay and what's going to go, because we got some challenges in that arena too. So the last thing I want to talk about is, Master Chief, come on up here for a second, would you? Is that you may wonder who's this Master Chief paid out of the Coast Guard and who's this Master Chief of the Reserve Force. Well, my job is to support the Commandant, a lot of different operations and missions that we have. My job is also to watch out for the entire workforce in regards to our illicit issues, and that includes our families and those children, those precious children that I talk about, our future. So, and so what Master Chief Leavitt's telling you this morning is that my heart's out to all of you, and that you're not alone. And that you're not alone. One common thing, I know some of those issues that I heard the other day at that caucus was that they didn't know who to call. Well, let me tell you, not every process is perfect. Sometimes you run across the wall, and I'm here to tell you right now, if you run across the wall, you have issues out there, we're accountable to you and your families. And if you call me, action's going to happen one way or the other. And that's Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard. I'm on the globe. You can take a look at that. The commander will have my name out there, and there's certain things that we can do to help, particularly in all those different arenas that you're going to be dealing with. So you give us a call, and Master Chief do the same way. We'll take care of you out there too. Is that fair enough, everybody? All right.